Hello, my friends. Welcome to the May energy forecast. I am so excited to tell you about this one. There is some big guidance that wants to come through here. As Sal walks away, my dog. There is some big guidance that wants to come through for May. And stick around, because at the end of my channeled piece here, well, at the end of the energy forecast, I am going to provide a very special message that comes from the Arcturians of the 8th dimension. This is the group of light beings that I work with in the Akashic records. They have provided me with a really special message that they want you to hear in regards to the coming energy. So I'm not going to be doing a card pull at the end of today's energy forecast. I'm actually going to be doing this special channeled message from the Arcturians. You're going to want to stick around. It's big. Before I dive in, I also want to put here, because sometimes if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're new, I'm glad you're here. But even if you've been listening for a while, I like to remind you of ways that you can receive extra support from me if you find my teachings and the forecast to be really helpful. So of course you can check out my YouTube, where I have tons of different teachings and channeled guidance that can support you. I have been really loving my one-to-one soul coaching. This has been a big piece. I've been having a lot more clients come through around this piece lately, and I think that just has to do with the collective energy that we continue to shift through and expand through, because as we continue to expand, you will be asked to grow. You will be asked to work through the pieces showing up within you that want to be healed, processed, released, so that you can open up more space within you in order to feel and receive more of what you desire. This is where my one-to-one coaching comes in. And within these powerful sessions, we get to the root of where you might be getting stuck, of why you aren't receiving the things that you desire, and really help you step more deeply into trust, connection within yourself, empowerment in your life, a deeper connection with your intuition, all of that good stuff. Let me know if you have questions around my one-to-one soul coaching. I also offer my Soul Empowered membership. This is a beautiful community that I've created where we meet once a week in live calls. You can receive one-to-one guidance, community connection, as well as all of my teachings. You can find that through the online program that we share there. Yeah, it's a really beautiful option as well if you're looking for a more cost affordable option. And then lastly, my readings. I do readings within the Akashic records, as well as intuitive guidance sessions with your spirit team. Let me know if you need more support. Let's dive in. April was a big month, and we knew this. If you go back to my energy forecast from April, we knew it was coming. We knew, or we were told, that the energy of April was going to be big energy. It was going to move fast. And if you were making steps and doing things in alignment, it would feel smooth in the quickness. Okay, so if you notice that, I definitely noticed that energy. And I also noticed that when I was making decisions and choosing things in alignment on a soul level, boom, 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 things happened so quickly. May, so here's what they want you to start with around May. First, taking time to celebrate your wins from April, because it was such a big month, and even March as well. I've talked to so many of you where it's like, actually the whole year so far has felt really big, but March especially and April brought up heavy lifting, right? There were some heavy pieces that came up for a lot of us. So first and foremost, celebrate your wins right now. Take some time to reflect on the big pieces you've moved through, the big shifts you've been making, the big awareness you've been creating. Celebrate. Because baby, May is all about renewal. What a beautiful word, renewal, okay? And I want you to think about this, and it actually reminds me of this card that I have in one of my decks, where renewal is actually the name of the card, and she's sitting there, this woman, in very much her feminine energy, in full receiving, flowers all around her. It's connected to the root chakra. She's wearing red. And it is a card all around new beginnings, fresh starts, new chapters. So see if that starts to land with you this month. One thing that they wanted you to understand is, for a lot of us, we're actually coming up to a closing of a year-long pattern or cycle that we have been in. So they want you to think about what was occurring around this time last year. What were you moving through? What were you experiencing? Because it feels like there was very much a cycle that started around the same time last year that you have moved through for the last year, and it is really starting to come to a close. And how this could look is maybe it's a new relationship. It's interesting because for me, that's when Derek and I came together, was about a year ago. So that's actually really interesting the more I think about that. But this could also look like a new awareness that you had last year that you have been working on for the last year. Maybe it looked like a new job that you started. Maybe it looked like you went out on your own for the first time last year and it's been a year and you've been moving through a cycle. Maybe it looked like a big realization you had within yourself around last year, same time. So take some time to reflect. See what the cycle has been that you have been in, that you are really stepping out of. Because another piece around May that they want you to be thinking about is new patterns emerging. This is a new cycle that you're starting, and you really get to choose some of the new patterns that you want to create for yourself. I think sometimes when we hear patterns, we can think of things we're stuck in, which is half of it. The other part is we get to create new patterns, and we create these new patterns through choice, through having a vision, through reflection and awareness. So part of May is about sitting in that renewal energy, getting clear on the new vision you have for yourself, and thinking about the new patterns that you want to create for yourself on the path. The second theme is you are being invited to soften. And I love this theme because it really makes me think about May, the May energy. If you're in the northern hemisphere, where I am right now, we are full blown into spring. We're starting to see the flowers blooming, the sun is out more, the rain is also here, but things are growing. There's a fresh energy, and I just feel so much more connected to Mother Nature lately. This is this piece of softening, like really thinking about what's actually coming through here is like being in your flower girl era, like with like almost like a flower crown on your head. And I'm also thinking of that renewal card as well, of like, there's an invitation here to explore more of your feminine energy, to soften, to explore more of what it looks like to tap into your inner goddess, your inner mother, the inner maiden, more of your innocence, playfulness. Who are you when you slow down? What is the energy that you feel within yourself when you are present? And this might be a little offside, but like that feeling that you get after after you climax or after you have an orgasm, that is like a beautiful softening feeling. Right? That's you in your feminine. So how can you bring more of that energy into your life, into May? It's that softening, that yummy goodness, that laying in a bed of flowers, right? Minus the allergies. But it's like, what does that feel like for you? And how can you create more of that in your life? And this doesn't mean you have to have a partner or someone or be in a relationship with someone to bring more of that energy out of you. No, you get to create this on your own. You get to, and this is part of creating new patterns as well. We don't always have to be in relationship to experience these things. And so how can you create and embody more of that soft energy within yourself this month? I love this theme because they give a really cool analogy to think about when you're thinking about this one. That didn't make sense. They give a really cool analogy to think about with this one. Finding the sweet spot. And one way that you can think about this month, the analogy that they gave is like with the Indy 500, never been. Don't know the last time I even thought about this. So this is straight from the records. You think about the cars going around the tracks and they go around so many times. It's like a marathon from what I understand. But there's a very beautiful, fine-tuned finessing that goes into rounding the corners because they're going so fast. And so in finding the sweet spot, if you think about this analogy, it's knowing when to press the gas and knowing when to lay off of it, knowing when to release it, right? If you think about the cars going around the track, it's knowing when to press down and speed up and knowing when to release and trust more in the flow, trust more in the glide of it, right? And so you're being asked to really apply this in your own life this month. How can you find more of the sweet spot? Tapping more into the energy of how things feel, of when you need to take action, aligned action, not ego action, aligned action. That's pressing the gas. And then knowing when you need to sit back, be present, open, and receive. That's releasing the gas. The more you can tap into this natural ebb and flow, this is the reciprocal relationship that you have with the universe. The more that you can tap into this, the more flow you will feel in your life. And actually, this really connects to all the other themes. The more you'll be able to tap into your feminine, the more you'll be able to soften, the more you'll be able to feel more of that renewal energy in your life. So find that sweet spot, baby. This next one is a really cool one. Ironing out the kinks. And they're gonna give a way that you can really think about this, right? When you are ironing, if you've ever ironed, you don't wanna go really fast because that's actually gonna make you have to go over it again and again and again, and it's gonna waste more of your energy. The same can be thought of with your triggers. When you get activated, when you have a heightened emotional response, slow and steady, just like when you're ironing. The slower you go, the less ironing you have to do for that kink, for that wrinkle. The same can be thought of with your triggers. The more slow and steady you go with the emotional triggers that are showing up for you, not pushing them away, not repressing, not acting like they're not there, because trust me when I say they will continue to show up again and again and again until you're ready to sit with them. The more slow and steady you can go, being with it, feeling into it, grounding into the presence with it, seeing what you need, processing what's showing up, moving through it, releasing it, slow and steady. The more you can do that, the less you're actually going to have to iron out, right? Because it's showing up because it's ready to be healed. It's showing up because it's ready to be released. The more you can be with it in a really slow and steady way, the less ironing you have to do of that piece. This last one is a direct channeled message. What I was just doing was very channeled as well, but this I'm going to read directly from my notes because it came through hard and fast. I was like typing so fast. I'm going to read it directly from my notes. And this is around the collective energy that is showing up that's going to continue to heighten. Why? Because the collective is really being asked to expand into more 5D energy from 3D. In order for us to expand, we have to receive triggers, activations, ways that show us we are still in our dense 3D energy. And the more we move through those triggers, so going back to ironing out the kinks, the more we move through those triggers, the more we naturally expand into 5D energy. But remember, in order to ascend, we have to descend within ourselves, into our stuff, into our shit, so to speak, right? And the more we move through that, the more our energy expands into a higher frequency. So I'm going to give you this direct channeled message because it's important. Pockets of presence, glitches in the system. The 3D is breaking down. The 5D energy is flowing through the cracks. You might notice glitches or twitches, or you might notice like time is slowing down. These are both good things. Being able to see through the filters and 3D constructs and becoming more present in 5D energy. This is 5D energy, presence. When we are present, we see through the illusion of separation, the ego. When we are present, we are in connection. This is the energy of love and oneness. The continual breaking down of the 3D is allowing more of this to occur. The breaking down of the structures that separate us. Trust in the process, no matter how hard and uncomfortable the external world feels. Issues like money are important. They bring up our survival instincts and put us in a place of dysregulation, fear, and disconnect. The powers that be want this to occur. The more you are in your survival energy, the smaller your window becomes. You have blinders on, so to speak. The more fear you are in, the more control they can have. So it is important to practice being aware of issues around money. Announcements, situations in social media and media at large that put you in a state of fear and invoke your survival response. If something hard, fearful, and fear-inducing is showing up, rather than projecting this energy, which is what they want you to do, go within, my love. Go within and allow yourself to move through the fear. Help your nervous system regulate. Come back to a place of connection. This is how you keep your vision and energy open so that you can see more of the truth and be connected to the truth. This is where you find your power, no matter what is showing up outside of you. I thank you for being here. Woo, that was powerful. That was so powerful. I thank you for being here. Please let me know what you think of the energy forecast. I would love if you could leave comments, reviews. Make sure you subscribe so that you are receiving these as they come out. And of course, I'm always here to support you if you need it, my friend. Have a beautiful day.